skin and it secretes the melatonin, which is this very interesting. Epitan is the name of the actual company. And it's just another thing that they're dealing with right here and all, with the implants. So they're dealing with all types of research and stuff. So, but who knows? Like I said before, the only way you can get the stuff that they're talking about is through other humans and stuff. It's from other humans. So that is a new way that they can do this particular aspect. Like I said at the beginning, whenever they had this particular complete government, one party that conquered all with the Republican Party in November, whenever they had this complete thing that went on, that was almost the same thing as saying that you don't even have a two-party system. Basically what you got here is one elite rule. And here again, when they put this, the manifesto is who's going to rule, and they talked about this whole Southern apartheid system. And what they're talking about, they ain't talking about the apartheid, really not segregation. They're talking about more of a white supremacist type of thing that they're dealing with now. What they're dealing with here is the order that's actually going on. Now, like I said the last time, before the break, is that the whole key here now is Bush is now backing down on talking about the war because he's already got all this homeland security stuff in place. Now, recapping also, you have this whole ancestral thing going down with these ghosts and these spirits coming back. Well, in the Gilgamesh epics, which you can also find in this particular book here called Myths from Mesopotamia, I talked about the last time by Stephanie David. In this Gilgamesh epic, they talk about one day where the dead will outnumber the living and walk the earth. Well, in that case, they're still talking about the ancestral realm, which we're all going to. We're going to get into some particular aspect and all. But, which leads me to the order of the day is, let me see if I got a couple other things. Anything else I want to get down with is the science of Planet X. Now, this is a book called Blindsided by Mark Hazelwood. Planet X, Planets, Places in 2003. And we do believe that all this lockdown, the homeland security, and all of this particular stuff they're talking about has something to do with this Planet X, which is Nibiru. They call it Nibiru. The real word is Neb-Heru. And it's supposed to be the 12th planet. They talk about, Zachariah 6 was talking about that. Here's some other new research on the book called Blindsided. Planet X passes in 2003, Earth changes. This is very key. Because although the stuff that is going down inside of us, there's something outwardly that's a catalyst for all of this. And it says, in July the 3rd, 2001, discovery of a large reddish chunk of something orbiting in Pluto's neighborhood has reignited the idea that there may be more than 9 planets in the solar system. This is Discovery News. He goes on to say in this particular book here by Mark Hazelwood, which he's also updating Zachariah Sitchin's work and different things like that, which is based off the book The 12th Planet. They're saying that Planet X is this particular other planet that is getting ready to orbit within the next, in 2003. Now it's interesting because he goes in to talk about stuff like the Enuma Elish. He talks about that in this particular book. And the Enuma Elish is, in this book by Stephanie Daly, is the creation myth of Tiamat, the great mother, fall from heaven. And her son is this Labado character that I was talking about. Labado, or Labu, or La'abu. La'abu is the feminine aspect known as Locael. Now, it says, in this book translated of the Enuma Elish, it talks about certain things that Zachariah Sitchin had talked about, which is still trying to locate this particular planet X. They've been tracking a lot of this stuff since 1991. Planet X is also called the Death Star, or called Nemesis. Now they got a movie, Star Trek Nemesis, out. And if you look at the actual movie design, they got a picture. It's a picture of the Hawk, a Heyru, and stuff. In Star Trek Nemesis and stuff. You know. And so they're talking about that particular things here in this particular book. He mentions several things in this particular book that has to do with this planet X, and in so many words, he goes on to tie this thing into right with this Labado character that I was saying, that I was talking about the last time we met. This Labado, this entity that came in July 21st. And because he talks about, he says that this planet X is also, they traced it with an entity called Sheba the Destroyer, which is the East Indian Heyru Sheba, which is the Destroyer. He talks about that. He also says that he's also the god Typhon. He's also the god Typhon, which Typhon is supposed to be the god that was supposed to be trapped under Mount Etna, and Mount Etna is erupted. So what he's doing is he's taking all these particular theories of the Horus myth, the Sheba myth, and all these particular aspects of the Christ energy, and he's tying it in with this particular planet X that he said is going to hit in 2003. So now, even Henry DiBernardo, when he first started out, he talks about the story about the guy, Zachariah Sitchin, who wrote the 12th Planet, how he was invited to the White House to find out about this so-called Nibiru. And Nibiru is another name for a particular planet X. So all of this stuff is scheduled to hit in 2003. This book, Mark Hazelwood, is talking about this particular thing, and he's saying that the only thing you can do is go inside, because it's going to be some type of catalyst that's going to jump off. Just remember now, this is only an outer projection of some stuff that's going on the inside of us. On the inside of us, so this is very key. So I wanted to make mention of that particular planet X, and it might be in relationship to why they're coming with all this homeland security and they're putting this shit on lockdown. They know something big is getting ready to hit.
But is he actually saying that planet's supposed to allow the planet Earth?
Well, they usually these particular people, when they get a real scientific, they always, that's one of the cases, they always are trying to say this thing is going to collide and all kinds of things like that. That's not the way it's going down based on the ancient scriptures and based on how the spiritual things go down and stuff like that. But whatever it is, if it just passed through the orbit of the earth, just like a comet or something like that, it is something that's a catalyst for something that's powerful. Now let me give you an example. They are putting humans on lockdown. So they know that if this thing passes through the orbit of the earth, if we have the universe inside of us, and we have what is going on as above, so below, then whatever passes through the earth, it can also be our souls passing through us in the correspondence of that. Now take for instance, now give you an example. We get any book, and they have the Kabbalah. Any book on the Kabbalah. You get any book for anybody that's never seen the Tree of Life. Any book here on the Kabbalistic system, the Kabbalah. The top of the Kabbalah is called Keter. It has also been located as Pluto, which is the last planet in the outpost, Pluto. The Earth is down here as Malkuth. Now the key here is it says here that this reddish moon near Pluto. So we got red is also the color of the Kundalini energy inside of us. Pluto being Keter, which is the crown chakra. So this reddish moon near Pluto can very well be this planet X as it passes through the Earth's orbit. It also could be the Kundalini energy's final resting place in our crown chakra. And they know they are preparing the way for the super beings to come in, which the super beings is us. Now all the materialists out here saying that there's these evil race of people and these super beings and all this kind of stuff here, but they know that based on what this when you put it all together, they know that basically this planet X that he's talking about is going to be a chain of events that's happening on the inside of us. You see what I'm saying? On the inside of us. So when it passes through the Earth's orbit, the same thing, if that's something that's lining up, that means it's also something that's lining up in us. And they're talking about this 2003. Well, it's interesting because we tracking all this type of stuff, and I'm seeing these entities on my flow. Actually, these things that went somewhere. There's something that's transformed with some spirits in the spirit world, which is also in our bodies. When you make the connection, then that means in actuality is that this thing here lines up, this planet X, the 12th planet, this Nibiru, which is Neb-Heru. Now, Neb-Heru, well, this Labrador character said that I am Horus, I am Heru. But when it comes back, it comes back with a new name. Now, it's interesting because this particular book, Flying Serpents and Dragons by R.A. Boulay. In this book, he has a picture of this dragon. They show the same dragon at the beginning of the movie, Reign of Fire. They'll show a picture of a dragon being slain. And in here he said it's called the slaying of Labu. Well, Labu is the ancient name of Labrador. Because when he came and said, I am Labrador, and was talking on the phone, and the sister got the channel, the first thing I said was, well, hell, I found a Labu in the Babylonian text in 1998. I say, so you Labu. And I had already known, but Labu had to be a form of Horus, because you got Labu, then you get the word Abu, which the Arabs say the Sphinx is called Abu, father of the road. We know that the Sphinx is Horus, and the composite of Horus, and the goddess Setman. So I said, okay then. So when he said Labrador, right then when he said that, I knew that it had something to do with this particular Horus energy. Now, there's the key. We might be seeing this shit already because the last couple of nights they got a damn star that's appeared in the sky. And it's just that we don't look up. They got some shit that's in the sky around 7 or 8 o'clock. It's huge. It's huge. So let's say where we are right now would literally be right here. If I'm from where I'm standing, it'll be right about here. And I don't know what that would be where we are based on the compass, where we north, south, east, or west. But they got this shit that's huge. And it's right out there in the sky. Now this government here is so on the ball until they can have this shit right out in the sky. It clearly looks like something that's not a star. It don't look like an airplane. But the people are on such lockdown mode until it actually, the government knows what it is. They ain't saying shit, and as long as they don't put it on the TV, the people are not even responding to this shit. And it's a big ball of light out there in the sky. And all you got to do is just look up and see this shit. It could very well be this planet X, it's a prophet. It could very well be this Labrador energy. But then again, on the other hand, that is nothing but a reflection of some shit that's going on inside of us. This shit is huge. From the last time I talked, I went outside the other day and this damn thing is unbelievable. So obviously there is something that's actually going down. All I know is the people that dug up my sidewalk on the 9th. I think the last time I was talking, I said that they dug up my sidewalk. Was I here the last time? Was it on this tape? Them motherfuckers came back last week, digging up the damn sidewalk and across the street. And I hear all kind of shit up under the fucking house. You see what I'm saying? So they are working around the clock. They're working around the clock and stuff. So I do know that that is some stuff that's actually going on. So it's interesting here because this Planet X, we still are talking about aspects of the Kundalini energy inside of us, which is the virile power, the virile power, and we're still talking about this Kundalini energy inside of us that we know that that is also rising. Now, this is one key. Let's break down this whole Jesus mystery so you can understand something, and you just got to understand some things based on history. Prior to ancient Kemet, and the thing started somewhere in the middle of ancient Egypt, somewhere in the dynastic period, which set the stage for the modern day human redeemer that we call a Jesus, a Buddha, any kind of Mahdi figure that comes. And we need to be clear on what the ancient people view and had a consensus on certain things that was actually happening. The ancient people all knew, and that's what this book is talking about here. In the aspect, there's a chapter in here talking about the slaying of Lagu and stuff. The ancient people knew that what was coming back, one day there will be something that will revisit the earth and destroy the earth. And what it was a monstrous type of being. And all the ancient people in their mythology knew that there would one day be this monstrous type of being that would come back. We get it in the pre-dynastic text before we get the dynastic text and stuff start dwindling down to human. So in so many words, what I'm saying is this. Every culture in the indigenous world prior to 3,000 years ago, because these things are old, they were taught that one day some monster will revisit the earth and devour us. Now let me give you a backdrop on what they thought. This is the Cthulhu mythos, which is the Necronomicon stuff that H.P. Lovecraft. And I've been reading this shit for years, but it's a good. I've been reading this thing for years, but it is a good concept of what I'm trying to drive home here. Or what I'm trying to drive home here. And this is what the ancient people around the world believed. Then as time went on, the ancient priests from ancient Kemet on into ancient Rome modified this dynamic beast of a being that comes back to wreak havoc on the earth. They modified that into a human figure, and the end result is what you get with Jesus Christ walking with the Lamb and all that kind of stuff. The latter is is far from the truth. What is coming back is some monstrous type of entity. Now, let me explain this. Now, I think we say these things and all, but I don't know if I discussed it the last time I was here. But let me give you a scenario on what I'm talking about here. Then I'm going to read this passage to paint the picture on what this thing is. And the key here is to somehow make our lives insignificant. This is what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to get to the point where we reach no self. Now, I talked about this last time on October the 23rd. October the 16th, I was talking to Kimberly, and the spirits put together a scenario, and I think it was like a test. They said a series of things to me to make me feel insignificant. And they was like, well, you know, yeah, we can take it from here. We already rose. It's all good. And the way they was explaining this thing was like one world that had their agenda going on, and I hope there's some things that was going on in this particular world. And this world here was insignificant, which in actuality this world is insignificant. This is the illusionary world. But they drove it home when I heard these other entities on the other side discussing some shit that I wasn't a part of. So I got in a chair and automatically I felt reduced down to nothing. Bobby Hemmitt didn't mean shit. And right then I had reached the level of no self. And so the concept here is that no matter what we're driven in our lives to think that, you know, oh, it's all personal, you get all teary-eyed, and you just think that you matter. In so many words, you don't matter whatsoever. We are nothing. I'm not talking about we are nothing based on the God, the great God, and I'm a wretch. I'm not talking about some old motherfucker that we are subordinate to. That motherfucker is subordinate. What I'm saying here is we that's a subordinate motherfucker. We are nothing to our soul. Because the soul is real. This is nothing but a series of emanations coming from the soul. You see what I'm saying? A projection of ourselves. It's just like Neil was on the other side thinking all his little computer shit was real. But the real deal was sitting in some little damn incubator. The devil and it came alive and the other one ceased to exist. You understand where I'm coming from? So, that's the concept on what the ancients was talking about, of this monster, which in fact is our souls. But we ain't shit. If you can get to that particular point, right now, you got it. When you reduce, and so some people call the house, they be crying. They'll call the house and the shit be fucked up and I'll go, it don't matter. It can be some real horrible hideous shit to their parents, to their children. It can be some major shit. And I go, it don't matter. It don't matter whatsoever. You know, that's the type of concept of what we're talking about here. That's the type of concept of what we're talking about here. You know, like somebody said, man, you know, what happened? You know, you went from damn 2000, you went from a couple of years ago talking all the, you know, all this romantic love aspect of the stuff I was talking about in the book, like love is a fire and stuff like that. They said you just this cold entity, and I'm like, I'm dead now. I'm dead to everything on this particular realm and stuff like that. I said, it don't matter. So what I'm doing is reduced everything. If you can somehow reduce your life down to spittle, shit, then you pretty much conquer this damn stuff. So I said, oh, nothing matters. You know, nothing fucking matters. Not even tragedy. You see, not even tragedy. So the key, what I'm trying to say is this here. They knew what was coming back was an awesome force. Now the scenario goes, there's a inhuman, unhuman being. These beings that used to rule. And where they used to rule, humanity took over. And these things disappeared, but they became the souls of humanity. So this monstrous titanic beings, basically titans, used to rule before humanity took over. They disappeared behind the curtain and became the very souls of humanity. But they are real and humanity is only the incubation and the illusion. Now, now want their fucking planet back, and now they're coming back to destroy humanity, which is our souls. You get it? Now, that's the concept on what the ancient person believed about this entity of this Christos Christ force that was coming back, was a monstrous entity, which is our souls, coming back to take back its existence and set up its residency and ruling. And over the years, they pruned this thing down to be significant with the human condition, and the human condition ain't got shit to do with it. It is just waiting and putting some bullshit and some feel-good bullshit until the real shit come back to devour it. You see, that's the concept here. And this is why this part in the Cthulhu mythos, which is the H.P. Lovecraft, I've read this over the years, which makes so much sense where it says, the more we know about the great old ones is our souls, are monstrous titanic beings, titan beings. You see, even in the movie When We Were Titan, they even had Denzel to come in the dressing room, in the locker room and tell them, hell, the Titans was even greater than the gods. He dropped that shit on them. You see, the Titans were even greater than the gods. So the great old ones are these Titan beings, what is our soul. The more we know of the great old ones, the worse things look. The worse things look to the human race. Now, why I'm saying this, because at this particular point, at this particular moment, we have to become those non-inhuman beings. And we have to start a record and a habit of becoming something other than ourselves, in which, at this very moment, we are mutating into. You see what I'm saying? So therefore, we have to reduce all concept of what we think is important, because it is not. You see what I'm saying? It was just taking up occupying itself until its real self got here. So I really went to no self. I really felt, I really felt lonely, really felt real lonely. I felt like it's in the some concepts in Blade Runner, when the woman, I can't think of her name right now, she finds out she's a clone, or she finds out she's a robot, and she starts to cry. Or in the movie Vanilla Sky, when they're on the top of the building, that's a hell of a movie. And the guy who was the doctor saying all this kind of shit, and in the movie Vanilla Sky, the guy who's doctor, next thing you know, they were saying, you been talking about your 3 daughters and your 3 daughters the whole movie. What's their name? He didn't even know their name. And he turned around and said, I exist. And the guy said, he only wants to exist. He only wants to think he exists. But he was only an illusion. Something written into the script. He didn't even know his own daughter's name and stuff like that, because that wasn't programmed as a part of his scenario or who he was playing in the movie. That wasn't a part of his damn script. So it was only an illusion. You see what I'm saying? In the movie Vanilla Sky, you got to get it. You got to see the movie Vanilla Sky. So it was in the movie. He was like, I exist. So the key here is, I reached that insignificant aspect, and that's what this thing is talking about here. The more we know of the great old ones, the worse things look for the human race. Humanity likes to fancy itself as the Lord of creation, able, given, certain, sufficient, and time and effort can conquer any problem through application, logic, and creativity. Within the context of the Cthulhu mythos, that's our souls, these monstrous beings. However, this is received as a lie, a comforting disillusion or delusion of a fundamentally inadequate race. According to the mythos, not only are we intrinsically inferior to the older races of the galaxies, which is our souls, we are constitutionally and perhaps neurotically incapable of even acknowledging our own inferiority. And that's why the fucking damn religions came in to put the shit on lockdown, because religions are all based on how you humanly behave in result to God. And that's fundamentally inadequate. That shit don't even exist. Why the hell you think, if you go back to the Enuma Elish, the Rig Veda, the Book of the Dead, you go back to these ancient things, you see more monsters and more monsters and inhuman figures. But as you go on to the 2,000-year mark, around the time of the later time, which we call the end of BC and the beginning of AD, the Christian era, the shit becomes more humane in the context. The key here is this: what happened to those particular Titan beings and monstrous beings that the earlier races knew that one day would come back and retake the planet? They all was relegated into the realm of Satan and the devil. You see, and evil. That's what so it disappeared. But once the man ego started putting him at the center of the universe, he relegated the process of his soul. He relegated that to evil. This monstrous being. You saying it's monstrous? You saying it's monstrous, and you might be scared of it, but that's just your perception based on the way you talk. Who's to say that you ain't hideous? Right. And my mother used to say shit like that, and I'd be like, this woman here is out of her damn mind. She said, you know, humans are very ugly motherfuckers. He got these big old bodies, too long legs, and this little old head sitting on top of some shoulders. And I said, this goddamn woman here is out of her mind. But it was pure spirit on why she was saying these things. And she said, we're real ugly people. We're real ugly. You know what I'm saying? And in the concept, they even have a Twilight Zone thing where they had little pig-like people in the movie, and they had this human born. They were like, oh God! They couldn't look at it. And it was the quintessential standard of beauty, or what we call beauty. You see what I'm saying? So, you see, because you are programmed to think some way don't necessarily mean it is the right way. So as things went on, things became more human in this particular concept. And the Titan beings and all this stuff that the ancient race used to learn about, that became relegated to the devil, evil. That's interesting because there's a book called The History of the Devil, and in the book is just full of pictures of these so-called gargoyle, monstrous figures. But isn't it interesting, somewhere in the 1980s, the mid-80s, little children started playing with these type of monstrous beings, and they say, shit, in order for them to sell more, they got to be more hideous. You remember this thing? All these monstrous beings and stuff like that and all. So even that stuff was even coming back. So, to explain what they're talking about here, according to the mythos, perhaps we are not only, to read this again, not only are we inferior to the older races of the galaxies, our souls, we are constitutionally and perhaps neurotically incapable of even acknowledging our own inferiority. When the human mind is brought forcibly in contact with the realities of the mythos, that's when you see the real thing or what you truly are, the usual response is either death or madness. We are simply unequipped to deal with the realities of the universe. So what is the final fate of mankind? Are we doomed? Are we doomed any day to random annihilation by the forces beyond our comprehension, or perhaps we are destined to become mindless slaves of some inimical alien race? On the other hand, perhaps even the hopeless scenarios contain an element of vainglory. Why, after all, should the older races even wonder whether our mad, insignificant race lives or dies? But certainly they have some interest in our little green planet. So what they're talking about here is, what they're talking about here is what, when you really get to the core, it's not some random monsters out in the space, it's our own soul. The soul is called the monstrous soul. So in so many words, what I'm trying to do is I'm redoing history and try to tell you that all of the mystical things that you think is evil and all of the monstrous beings that you think is hideous is nothing but a cosmic joke and a tragedy that same very thing that we fear the most is nothing but our own souls that we can't deal with, because that's how much we are separated from what our real soul is. And we deal with spiritual experiences, but spiritual experiences is not the soul experience. The spirit is just what is the experiences that the physical body takes on spiritually. But your soul is asleep and is a far more hideous phenomenon. That's what we're talking about here with this particular entity, and why these particular things that we see that these in these babies that we're so scared of on the dark side. That's the reason why over the years they became basically something that humanity can't deal with. It's because it's been turned around, but that's exactly what the fuck we are. And the sooner we realize that shit, the sooner it is better for us. But that's what the white boy don't want us to know, or the powers that be don't want us to know. Just so happen to be the majority of them are white. But that's what the powers that be don't want us to know is in actuality here. Is that's why they got us locked in religion. We are against our particular self. Just wanted to put that particular part in there. That years ago, we used to deal with that type of thing, and we even have it recorded in history. And like I said the last time, where they got it recorded in history, Gerald Massey's Natural Genesis, where they talk about these two monsters used to come from up under the ocean and tear down. They was building the Library of Alexandria, and these two monsters used to come down out of the ocean and tear down the library what they had built every night. And they had to, eventually the Egyptian priests had to put some hieroglyphic slabs down in the bottom of the ocean to tell the monsters not to do it. So these are some entities that never became human. But nevertheless, this is some scenario on what our soul is actually is. And they got human accounts on these particular things. Go get the movie Deep Rising. Get that movie again. If you want to see some Labrador type characters, get the movie Deep Rising, because that particular movie Deep Rising is these entities to take over the ship. Now here it is again now, because we got the slaves, we got the boat that's out here. If people are coming sick, but yet in 1998 they got a movie Deep Rising where they got these entities taking over, these serpentine dragon-like entities taking over the ships. Get the movie Deep Rising. As well as, like I said, we was talking about the last time, because we're dealing with a dragon-type energy. That's what the Labrador energy is. I want you to get the tape on Labrador. We got some over here. Dancing with Dragons, DJ Conway, is the particular book you need to get, because the dragon-like entity, they got it all over the world, is the same thing that I was just alluding to when I was talking about this monster of souls that we used to be. That's why is it that they got dragons all over the world? That's what this stuff is actually talking about. DJ Conway's book is an excellent book on that. But people are now seeing these things. They're seeing the chupacabra, they're seeing monsters in the lake, they're seeing sea serpents, they're seeing all that stuff. And what she alludes to that explains this thing is, every now and then when people used to see the Loch Ness monster, see these things, these dimensions, these things exist in another dimension. They exist in our soul, but they exist in another dimension, which is where our soul is. We're not local. Deepak Chopra talks about that. And every now and then, that dimension will bump into the earth, and you will see these mystical figures. And you will see these mystical figures and stuff like that and all. So, she talks about that and throughout history, where they get contact with these particular beings. Go, like I said again, get the movie Deep Rising, because they're dealing with that from 1998. Get that particular movie Deep Rising. Let's see here. Get the movie Black Knight with what's the name? Excellent movie to show how filthy the Europeans really are. The movie Black Knight with Martin Lawrence. You know, especially that scene where they tell me to go use the bathroom and they got shit all around the damn. You know, that movie. But see, they started making a lot of movies like that all during the 90s. Rob Roy showed you that type of stuff. Even your Rob Roy, Braveheart, where they showed all these movies they used to make of these people in England. They always have them clean looking in the 40s and the 50s and stuff. When they came out in the 90s, Miramax Film brought a lot of that shit. All of them was filthy and stinking nasty. And you see a lot of this shit in these movies from the 1990s. Just about all of them. It's just the hideous aspect of that, including Frankenstein, the one with the one that Mary Shelley's Frankenstein came out in 1994. Came out in 1994. What's your boy playing Frankenstein in that? Robert De Niro. You see that particular movie. And was another one too that was that way. Even the movie not Shakespeare in Love, but Beethoven. I can't think of the name of that movie. There was a movie called
Amadeus?
No, not Amadeus. There was one with Beethoven.
No. What about 13th Warrior?
Yeah, 13th Warrior. All these, real nasty and stuff. You see what I'm saying? A real nasty one in 13th Warrior. Now, the key is, one last thing. We're going to go into question and answer, but I want to, because I want to reiterate this on how this thing is actually going down also. Couple of things that's actually happened. A couple of things that's actually happened. Couple of things that's actually happening. I want to call to your attention on some things that's actually, how certain things is actually going down, so that you will have know to look out for certain things. One thing here is, let me see if I can find this part, is, if I can find this part, if I can, I'll find it later. But I do want to put this, I talked about this in May of this year, but the Spirit wanted me to go back to it. And that is this. It's called The Path of the Secret Love. Now I want to read this again, and then I'm going to go into some other things that's getting ready to go down to look out for it within the next coming months. Each of us have a secret love, a lover who awaits just behind the erotic images that flood our minds during sexual arousal and in our sleep. A dream lover who disguises as individuals in whom we fall in love, An ideal lover who adores us since the beginning of our own individual existence and who will never abandon us until the instant we merge into our absolute being in God here. We normally feel the embrace of the secret lover in ecstasy of orgasm and in the moments of rapture when in the beauty of music, dance, and visual arts and nature overwhelms us. However, we experience a broken heart. When we experience a broken heart, it is often because another individual has not lived up to the perfection of our secret love. The reason the sexual experiences are often better in our imagination and in our memory than it actually is because our imagination is where the secret lover is nearest to us. Personal relationships will always be somewhat disappointing to us because in truth they can never be a relationship that matches one we have had with our secret lover. It is in the secret standard by which we judge everything else is measured. The irony is that most of us are not aware of the relationship of our secret lover. Surrender to your secret lover is the central theme to most every religion and doctrine and the practice of the world's so-called great religions tend to dilute and deflect and detour an individual from the genuine personal experience. However, more religious establishments have unceasingly strived to convince their congregations that this is the most private of all religious events, is not a personal experience, at all. He's around, I don't want to get to the point right here, because he's talking about where he goes in and he tries to say that in so many words, what this particular secret lover is called the knowledge of the conversation of the holy guardian angel. Now, in so many aspects of ancient stuff coming from Egyptian on down to the modern day secret societies, they always talk about the last and final magical link that you will take as far as you going to join your higher self or your soul is called the knowledge and the conversation of the holy guardian angel. In so many words, the holy guardian angel is this particular secret lover. Now the story goes as this. In the next couple of months, or in this particular realm, because we got several people all over the country, especially a lot of women, have been having encounters with sexual energies in the astral realm that come in and mate with you and copulate with you in the astral realm. A lot of sisters and some brothers are having these experiences all over the country. The key here is, very soon, this particular aspect of the secret lover, which is nothing but the opposite of your higher self. In voodoo, you get two snakes, Dambalawedo and Edowedo. So for every male counterpart, there's a female spirit that comes along with you, and the same vice versa. In every female counterpart, there's a male spirit. So you're going to meet your secret love. And your secret lover is going to rise you and raise you to the level of perfection back into that particular Godhead. And that's how it's going to happen. The key here is, this thing is going to visit the earth in mass. And everybody, I talked about this in May, will gain a secret love. These particular secret lovers will catapult you into your higher self. The key here is, the ones who are counterfeit spirits and do not have the filtering process of the pineal gland operational will burn up. Will go into spontaneous combustion and actually burn up. Internal combustion. And will actually burn up the Kundalini, and they say our God is an all-consuming fire. Well, the secret lover in them is getting ready to revisit the earth. The secret lover is nothing but your own holy guardian angel, or the entity, or this twin that's the other half of your soul coming to join with you and go to this bliss. This is the magical links of the secret lover that is in that has been carried down. They talked about this throughout history. It's called the Agostanian. But it is also what we are getting ready to meet. And it's a form of a Kundalini energy, it's a form of a goddess, it's a form of a whole serpentine type of thing. But I had to go back and put that type of information back out, because that's what's getting ready to happen as far as us being revisited by this particular secret lover type of complex. This particular aspect on. That's very key at this particular time, because this particular social, remember I was talking about these ancestral spirits we were talking about the last couple of hours, or those ancestral spirits that are free to roam and do what they want are the same ones that is coming as the secret lover that will join back with you to raise you to your certain level, to your particular certain level. Now, what the government is doing here is when you start to metamorphosize, they're saying, fuck it, put them niggas on lockdown. So, that's another aspect on why they're doing what they're actually doing. They're talking about put the, so they're actually getting ready for that particular aspect. To put the people on lockdown based on that type of thing. And so, you'll see, but the invasion is, and I talked about this in May, the invasion is not going to come from space, the invasion is going to come from inside your body. That's the Kundalini energy, that's the sexual energy, and that's the energy in which your own secret level will appear to bring you to another level. And everybody on the earth is going to get this, black and white, everybody on the earth is going to get this. Now, whether you are the original people that can stand it, you'll either burn up or you will doggone go to another level, but the invasion is going to come on the inside of you. That's why that's why they're doing things like shutting down the water and doing certain things like that to the physical body, because they are trying to do stuff to shut down from the inner world other than the outer worlds. You see what I'm saying? That's just distraction. But the invasion is going to come from inside out. The midichlorians that they talked about in the Star Wars, Phantom Menace, and that type of thing. That's going to be the invasion that's actually going on and stuff like that. That is why now Wesley just said something that was key, which just adds to this thing that I was talking about the high blood. Because with the high blood, because now this, like I said, your kidneys is being shut down with the high blood pressure. Now Wesley said something that was very interesting here, that something about an article he just read, where as they're convincing the black people who don't have money to go get this expensive high blood pressure medicine, they're telling them to go back to the old water pills, and that was the stuff that they used to use, which is the diuretic that they used to use prior to all this expensive high blood pressure pill. But the water pill dehydrates you. It's a diuretic. Go back and get the movie The Faculty. Because on the movie The Faculty, they had this stuff that was dehydrating the aliens. And they say, what is it? They say it's a diuretic. But remember now, when the ultimate alien came, it was a Lavado figure. It was a woman from Atlanta in the movie The Faculty. But it was a Lavado figure, a dragon-like figure. The first thing they did was jump inside of the water. Jumped inside of the water. The water was the key. But how this particular thing, how they killed the aliens, was they shoved this stuff up their nose, and it was a diuretic. And the diuretic would kill the agent, the aliens. We are the aliens. We just came down this thing a couple of years ago. So it was a diuretic. They say it was the faculty. Well, who are the original teachers? We are the original teachers. You see what I'm saying? So in the movie, this diuretic thing was killing, the faculty was killing these particular, it was killing these so-called agents, these aliens. You see? So when he was talking about the water pill, they're trying to convince the older or the black people who can't afford this expensive medicine to go back to the old water pill. And in so many words, here it is, it's a war on dehydration. That's the mystery. If they can dehydrate, that's the mystery to the whole thing. That's the war. Now, one last thing, and that is the Kundalini energy. Now, they got over 50 sex pills in here, and in this book, they're saying all of the bullshit. None of that shit works. They grade them all. The only ones that give aid in this particular thing is Herbal V for men, Smart Health USA. Then there's a Lady V for women, Smart Health USA. Now, I tell you this because this is one of the keys on how you raise the Kundalini energy. So Herbal V for men, Smart Health USA. Get that. Or Lady V V for women, Smart Health USA. Those are the ones that are given the A. V strike. V period E period strike. This is for men. Strike. V strike, they give an A. They give an A, and then they got some shit called Wild Man X. That's some real potent shit. That's what they say under the age 40. Motherfucker with bad hearts. They gave that an 8. Now, but the women you want the lady V, or you now ultimately you want some shit to rise, and you got Stamina RX. That's the best on the market. You want the Stamina RX, but they got the Stamina RX for women. And we're talking about enhance the orgasm. This is all in the realm of the stuff. Now, like I said, now what are we talking about with the Herbal V and the V Strike and the Wild Man X? Well, Herbal V you can get from, which is good, you can get that like from GMC, because it's been out the longest. We're talking about taking these things, not necessarily for sex, that's good if you want to do that experience, but we're also talking about taking these things to rise the Kundalini energy. To raise the Kundalini energy. That's why we also, so when I was saying these things about the sex pill, I was talking about in the scientific aspect of, you just want to take it just to get a certain force up. Then when you go into meditation, you can really go to new heights also too. So that's one thing also too, because that's what the Kundalini is sexual energy. So we talk about these particular pills and stuff. But the shit in Atlanta is called Stamina RX for men and Stamina RX for women. And that's the shit that really do some stuff and stuff. But the Kundalini stuff now, that's just, so we're working with some of this particular stuff on what to actually do. That's one of the keys here, because we're trying to give practical application on how to raise this particular Kundalini energy also too. This Kundalini energy. I talked about that last time. So let's go into a question and answer right quick. To get the ball rolling. On something. What's that?
Yeah, it's going to have a first clone going to be born next month.
Did it say that?
Yeah.
Human?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the clone expert right here.
Ain't that some bitch? Ain't that a bitch?
There's some
Huh?
more supposed to be cloned afterwards, like 3
But where is it? Is it in this country?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
This man,
So they said,
Bobby, this man's the clone expert right here in Atlanta.
huh?
This is the clone expert of Atlanta. He did a lot of research. He talked.
So they say that the clone, well, we know they've been cloning, but that's the official thing.
right,
The key here is, now here it is again, because they talked all that war shit, 9/11, see, all the 9/11 stuff, the war stuff, the Trent Lot stuff, is to put forth these real things like the cloning thing, but your mind is on something else until they done took the damn light off that. But if you had the people idle, they'd be told they have all the Christian groups. But nobody give a damn about that. This is about motherfuckers not getting killed by some terrorists. See what I'm saying? So that's interesting and stuff like that, which shouldn't be no big deal, because like we said, they've been cloning since 1945. So we know that that's just to make the shit official. A clone baby. So they just said, damn the little,
Well, they got it perfected now, so they can,
yeah. You see what I'm saying? And I'm quite sure people will be signing up. You know what I'm saying? They'll be signing up and stuff like that.
real ego, man.
Give me some questions. What's that?
What are some of the names
Yeah.
of the institutes?
Okay.
That's what it is.
Let's, yeah.
And what they're for, what they
Okay.
specialize in?
Yeah, let me give you the names of those entities.
Y'all want to.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, you spell them the best way you can, and that would be the way that you invoke. Otincha,
Oh, teacher.
Otincha, Otincha,
You gotta memorize this.
T-H-A, Sheola, Otincha, T-H-A, Sheola, Omogumu, Shumala, Oteacher, Teacher, Sheola, Omagumu, Shumala, Alcala, Locayo, and Labado. Labado or Labado, either one is the same. So that's how many is that right there?
8.
That's 8.
Kumbo.
And Cacumbo, that's right. Think, that's 9. Cacumbo, Locayo, Alcala, Labado, Oteacher, Teacher, Sheola, Shumala, Omagumu. Yeah, that's 9. That's 9 entities. Now, that's 9 entities. Now you can. Now I have another 11, but what I have to do is, when I'm still working on those, I have to come in and synthesize those into functional aspects. I'm not really at liberty to give those out yet because of the simple fact I haven't worked with them. I suppose I've been working with them the last month or so, last 2 months and stuff, and I have to go in and get those to the point where, as I, that we can deal with now. Those are some of the entities. Now, you can fuse them in with the 11 entities in the Palomanombe, which is the shit that works. And that is Zarabanda being number 1, who is the gateway. You call on him first. El Cristo Negro. As a matter of fact, call on Zarabanda before you call on any of the ones I'm